was that? Hello? Hello? I don't know. It just said broadcast interrupted, but then it says live. So I guess I'm live.
You're live.
Hi. Happy Wednesday. Right? Yes. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome to Kids and Essential Oils. Kids, Emotions, and Essential Oils. I get to talk to you guys tonight about emotions, one of my favorite topics, and then how we can really support our kiddos right now with everything that's going on in the world. Hi, Laura. Good to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. But I'll wait a few minutes and let some people jump on. I'm excited to, hi Sarah, hi Laura, to teach about this. And I have so much information, I had to squish it down a little bit. So hopefully it's everything you guys need to hear tonight. Just, right? That's your job. Oh. Matt's sitting in the corner over here. Push the heart button, Matthew. I don't know what to talk about. I'm like trying to what can I talk about? Smoke. We're in the middle of two fires. So I went outside and we have a black cat. And I was like, what is all over your fur? Because he was like covered in these little white patches. It was ash. It's like he's covered in ash. So then I was looking at the porch. All of the porch is covered in ash. Like our little sitting area, our cars. It's pretty gross. Like breathing that in. Because we have a fire on the east of us and the west of us, and it's just kind of like raining down ash right in the middle. So we haven't been outside very much. It's kind of sad. It's very sad, actually. It's very heartbreaking to see our favorite places in Colorado get burned up, but it is what it is, right? Yeah, when I thought he was a she. Yeah, Houdini, my cat. He used to be a Katie until we went to the vet and found out that Katie wasn't actually a Houdini. So, note to self. Check the cat before you name it. Hi, Kayla. All right. What time is it, baby?
It is
time?
7.
Okay, sweet. Let's get started. So, I think most of you know who I am. My name is Olivia Doherty, and I have been using essential oils and educating people on essential oils for the past 7 years. About 3.5 years ago, I was struggling with some thyroid issues and was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. And I did a lot of the conventional things to try to get my body in balance, even though I was still using the oils, and as well as Western medicine. And the Western medicine wasn't working very well. And so I just really started diving into the emotional cause of Hashimoto's, which is a whole nother class. But that was like the opening door for me of being like, oh my gosh, there's an emotional side to our emotions and to there's an emotional side to our physical ailments. And when we have emotions and we don't properly process them, we bury them in our body, it can lead to, physical ailments like an autoimmune disease. So that stuff fascinates me. I love researching it. I'm the queen of books and Google, and I've just pretty much been self-taught, but it all resonates. And I love watching the power of somebody who's been struggling with something for a very long time, and you're like, hey, have you looked into the emotional side? And we start digging into it and stuff comes up, and it helps them. I love that. That's my favorite part about the oils and the emotions and doing this as a business. So that's a little bit of how I got into the emotional side. And then Kesha asked me if I would teach on kids, and then we did a teacher event a couple weeks ago. So I got to really dive into the emotions that our kids are going through right now. And I've been watching on Facebook and talking to kids and talking to my own children about what they're feeling in the face of this pandemic that we're going through and the changes in the world and the schools and etc. And a lot of it was interesting because at first it started out with like, oh, it's fine. You ask a kiddo, how do you feel about this? okay, I don't really know. And then you really start to dig and just ask more questions, and you really they start cracking open. You put some oils on there and they start cracking open of like, I'm scared. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm living in fear. I'm frustrated. I want to go to school. I want to see my friends. I want to be around my grandparents. I want to travel this summer. You know, like a lot of us didn't travel. So if you start digging into your kiddos' emotions, they really will crack open and let you know. But as we probably all know as parents, it can be hard to get your kiddos to tell you what they're really feeling inside. So I'm going to talk to you about how to use the oils to really help your kiddos open up, what oils we can use to help them do that, support their emotions right now, and then just the different stages that your kiddo might be in right now and what they are working on in their emotional development, so you know where to best support them with the oils, okay? So hopefully we'll cover everything you guys need to know tonight to help your kids as well as yourself. So take all of this information for yourself too. We can all use the emotional help that we can get, right? So we know that kids struggle with what we struggle with. They struggle with anxiety, with stress, with depression, with tension, with shame, embarrassment. They lack self-esteem and self-confidence, right? And they might not be as verbal about it as we are as adults. They might be holding that frustration, that sadness, that anger inside instead of lashing out. They're taking in our feelings, whatever we're talking about with this pandemic, how annoyed and ticked off we are that the situation that's unfolding in front of us, right? Or we're upset with politics or the school system. Our kids are listening to everything that we say, and they're taking that in as maybe their own beliefs or fear, even when it might not be. So we as parents really need to be aware of how we're talking about things in front of our kids. But our kids feel that. They feel that the same way we do. And they don't express it. So how can we help them do that, right? And then each stage of life is different. Very fascinating thing that I've learned in my research is that when we are in the womb, when our moms are pregnant with us, any emotion, whether it's a good or a bad emotion, imprints on us. So if your mom had, was happy and did a little laughing and you just had a really good pregnancy and, a good situation, then you felt that in her womb and that imprinted on you. If your mom maybe had some stress, some trauma, some worry, some fear, she imprinted that on you as well. And of course, not every pregnancy is perfect, right? We're always scared, like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do with the baby? So you might have had that fear. Don't feel like you messed up right there when you were pregnant with your kids because you had a negative thought, but just the awareness around it, that it begins that early and when we start taking in emotions into our body, okay? As newborns, we develop that sense of trust. Can we trust these people not to drop me? Can we trust them to feed us? Can we trust to be clothed, to be warm? So if our sense of trust is broken, we might grow up distrusting people, okay? Because we've instilled that in our belief. 2 to 5 is our sense of independence. We're starting to be able to take care of ourselves. Maybe we can go to the bathroom by ourselves. We got dressed by ourselves. We can feed ourselves, right? So we're starting to really gain that independence. So if there's something that comes in and breaks that, we're going to have a lack of belief in ourselves and that we can do things on our own. 3 to 5 is a sense of who am I, a sense of self, of who am I becoming. So if anything happens in that age range, so if your kiddos are 3 and 5 right now, and they're trying to figure out who they are, but then school, or if they were going to start school, or their grandparents can't come over anymore, or they can't see their friends, they're really struggling with that sense of who am I when my world's been shaken up, right? So you need to focus on that. And then 6 to 11 is their sense of competence. Am I good enough? And that's huge right now. I think a lot of us struggle with that belief in ourselves. Am I good enough to do this? Or am I good enough to be here? Or am I good enough to, follow the rules that we have to follow right now? So if you have a preteen, 6 to 11, really just be focusing on if they are good enough, their self-worth, okay? Then 12 to 18 is really like, where am I going? When I become a teenager, I start to get that independence and I want to go do my own things with my friends and I don't have to be with my parents all the time, and then eventually I get my driver's license, and then maybe I'm 18 and I move out, right? And so where am I going in the world? And especially with a lot of our college kids and our high school kids, that went off and left, and then they ended up having to come back. I have 2 cousins. They were off into college for about 6 months, and then college shut down because of this, and they had to turn around and come back home and live with their parents for another 6 months. And it was just like they had that sense of I'm out of the house. I'm going to go spread my wings. Oh, just kidding. I'm back home. And then those parents were like, oh, our kids are gone. We're empty nesters. Let's go live life. And then, oh, our kids are home, right? So they had to adjust. So this has affected every age range. But it's really helping those kids that were getting ready to leave the nest or getting ready to get their driver's license, and things might have affected that of just like, where are they going in the world? So really helping them find that identity again. Okay. So moving forward, unfortunately, traumatic and negative situations like this one, we're going to be talking about for a very long time. Our kids are going to be dealing with, we're going to be dealing with for a very long time. This is something that's going to go down in the history books. Our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren will be talking about this year, 2020, right? Hopefully it ends at 2020 and doesn't go into 2021. But this is going to be something that's going to be talked about for a very long time. And so when we have these emotions that we're having around this, and our kids have these emotions of you know, if they're going to be safe, if they're feeling unsettled, or they've lost their trust, they are taking that into their hearts, to their minds, their bodies, and it's going to be coming out with like them shutting down, with them struggling with depression, with anxiety, with not wanting to leave the house, with social skills. It's affecting them on such broad schemes that I don't know if a lot of us are thinking about it. Hopefully we are, right? So how can we equip them, right? And I love this. I found this in a book, and I thought this, like, she was spot on with this. The mental state of our children is just as important as their physical health. We can't measure self-esteem with a thermometer, a rash you can see, a swollen gland you can feel, but what's happening in our children's head is hidden. Like, that like brings tears to my eyes, that yes, we can see what's physically happening with them. And so we are all about, how do we boost their immune systems, wash their hands, you know, put the on guard on them, take care of them, make sure they're, you know, doing everything they can to take care of themselves physically. But are we really focusing on how they're feeling emotionally, and what they're hiding and not telling us because they're scared to tell us, or they don't even know how they're feeling, right? And that is why I love, love, love essential oils for this, because essential oils are so powerful in helping the body find peace and balance. And when we find peace and balance, we're able to get rid of that negativity. And our kids don't have to know how they're feeling. I don't know. I have a 12 and a 13-year-old. My 12-year-old has been like up and down, up and down, up and down. Like, she wants to hide in her room, and then she wants to go out with friends, and then she's crying, and then she's happy, and I'm just like, you know, but she doesn't even know how she's feeling. So what I can do as a mom and feeling empowered is I can grab an essential oil and go in and fill her diffuser, or put some in my hand and rub it on her back. And we just get to talking, and she relaxes her body, and eventually she starts telling me what's really wrong. It finally comes out, because those oils have this magic power of getting you to spill the beans, right? It's really good for getting kids to spill the beans. Another thing I love about the oils is that they are so, kids are so intuitive. They know what oils they need. You can even ask them, you know, pick what oil smells good to you, and they won't even know the effects of it. And they're going to pick one, and they're going to smell it, and they're going to put it on, and you know, it's going to help adjust their mood. So trust your kids to pick their own oils. And then just use them as a way to connect with them, as an excuse to give them a hug, as an excuse to rub their feet, to give them that extra attention that they really, really need right now. So really quickly, in case anybody's new to the side of emotion oils, I want to just quickly talk about how they work on an emotional level. So we know that oils work, you know, we talk about them for boosting immune system, for opening up the respiratory system, for tummy aches, etc. But the emotional side of the oils is really fascinating. If you don't have this book, I talk about it all the time. This really helps you understand how oils work. It's Emotions and Essential Oils, and she talks about how they work on an emotional level. But basically is, when we take an essential oil, like I had to put some Adaptive on, right? The calming tonight. When I take this drop of essential oil and rub it between my hands and breathe it in, it is going up through my sense of smell, my olfactory system, which is our strongest sense out of all of our senses, okay? So if you pinch right here, this is your olfactory. When you breathe that in, it's going up into your brain. It's going to go up into the limbic system. The limbic system is, call it the emotional seat of the brain. So these essential oils, whether you're breathing in florals, mints, spices, they are going to help balance the brain and the emotions that you're feeling from going down into balance, right? Or going up into balance. So I'm like freaking out over here and the emotions or essential oil is going to bring me here. Or I'm feeling a little down in the dumps. The essential oil is going to help me bring right here, right? So every oil has an emotional tie to it. It's very fascinating. I love this part, but it really is going to help raise the vibration of your body. We've talked about that before, how rose is one of the most highest vibrating essential oils. You want to use rose to raise the vibration in your body, because when we are feeling sad, when we are feeling negative, when we have a bad mindset, when we are just like are down in the dumps and cannot shake it, it's because the vibration in our body is really low. And when the vibration in our body is really low, our immune system crashes and we're more susceptible to getting sick. Same thing with our kiddos, right? We want to make sure that we're keeping them high vibe, right? We want those vibrations raised. So that's what that essential oil is going to do. And in that process, it's going to kick out any negativity, any poor feelings, any bad thoughts that are going through their head. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. It really just balances your body. One key point I want to point out though is that essential oils will not do all of the work. I'm so sorry. I know. I wish they would. It would life would be amazing all the time, but you can't be like, oh, I'm in this really bad, ugly depression and I'm just going to breathe in adaptive and all of a sudden everything's fine, right? It's going to raise the vibration of your body to give you that instant release so you can do the work, whether you're journaling, whether you're talking to somebody, whether you go out for a run, maybe you ground yourself, you eat, you drink water. It's going to bring your body up to be able to do those things that you need to do to care for yourself so you do feel better. So hopefully that makes sense. It's a great partner, a great tool to take care of ourselves, okay, and to help raise that our mental wellness. So when we're using them on kids, same thing. Let them, like Laura said, she says, we set out a handful and Evie gets to pick what color she wants. It's usually spot on. Kids are amazing that way. So have them put on that oil, then let them color, let them draw. If they're older, maybe it's just a back rub, a snuggle on the couch and watch a chick flick, or you go take your daughter out for a drive or something, or your son, just putting those oils on and then doing something to help connect with them so they open up and release whatever oil and whatever feeling they have that's bubbling up, okay? So, deep breath. I'm gonna take a drink of water. The boys are chaotic here tonight, Cheryl. I'll have to try and watch the replay. Hopefully, I'm trying to stay compliant, so Kesha will let us know at the end if this can stay up or not. Okay. So tonight, I really want to cover the doTERRA Kids Oil Collection. If you're not familiar, there's 6 essential oils that come in this kit. Very cool. You can buy the oils single or you can buy the pack. But what I love about this kit is doTERRA specifically created this for our kids. So when we're talking about essential oils with kids, we need to be mindful of the safety around the oils and our children, right? Especially if they're younger. Older kids, teens and up, you could do the same as with an adult, but younger with our babies, our toddlers, our younger children, we need to make sure that we're diluting. We need to make sure that we're applying on the feet. We're checking for skin sensitivity. We're not putting in the eyes, ears, up the nose, in any area that is sensitive. So be really mindful with your oils with your kids, right? With your littles. But with these, I love them because doTERRA has taken all of the most gentle essential oils and put them in fractionated coconut oil. So these are safe to use on everybody from brand new baby to grandma. Okay. So I love this kit because I feel safe and confident that my kiddos can use this and they don't really need my supervision. Well, my kids are older, but they're not sticking in their mouth or in their ear, right? So that is why I love this. It's super simple for them to be able to take with them on a sleepover, or if they go back to school or sports or wherever they go. I know that I can send these oils with my kids. My daughter did a lot of cheer and dance. We send Brave with her a lot to help ease that tension. So I'm going to go through each one. They do all have physical attributes, and that's what they're created for, but they also have emotional. And I love the emotional side of these oils for our kids. So get your notepads out, because I'm going to share this whole collection that is really, really helpful for helping our kids deal with their emotions. And they're fun because they're pretty colors, right? Well, yeah, I don't know if your teen boys will love it, but they'll get over it. So, okay. So first one, let's talk about Thinker. So Thinker is the focus blend, and this one was blended for focus, right? If they're going back to school and they're distracted by all these kids wearing masks, or what's happening in the hallway, or they're just really having a hard time paying attention to the teacher, or if you're homeschooling and they're having a really hard time paying attention to mom, Thinker is going to be really good for that. Emotionally, this one is going to help you stay engaged. It's going to help them keep a clear mind and stay attentive and focused. It has vetiver, peppermint, clementine, and rosemary. So that vetiver emotionally is going to be very centering. So if you think of just like meditation, right, that centering to help them focus, that's what the Thinker is going to do. It helps with mental distraction, alertness, and even reduce feelings of mental stress, which our kids might be feeling as we get ready to go back to school. So this one you would apply to the back of the neck. You can just roll it on, or the bottom of the feet. And cool fact about this one is it's 15% off this month. So it's a really good deal if you haven't snagged that one. Good for babies. Our oil's good for babies. Okay, thank you, Laura. Perfect. I'll let Laura answer questions. Okay, I'll keep going. So the next one is Calmer. This is the restful blend. So this one was, think of, if you guys are familiar with Serenity, this is the kids' version of Serenity. Okay, so it's going to help them calm down and go to sleep. You can roll this on the feet. But emotionally, I love this one because it is going to take them to peacefulness. It's reassuring them that everything is going to be okay, and it's going to help them feel like they can surrender. They can put down their guard. They can calm down. So if they're feeling anxious, they're feeling sad, if they're feeling like just really negative and there's a lot of friction going on in their heart and they don't really know, they're just feeling like all over the place, right? This is going to help bring them down, calm them down so they can get some sleep, or at least relax if they're feeling really anxious about what's to come. So this one has lavender, cananga, Buddha wood, and Roman chamomile. I mean, when you think of Buddha wood, it's like, obviously it's going to be like Zen, right? Like, oh. So I love using this one over the heart because it is going to be able to give them just that peacefulness that their heart might be needing right now if it's feeling a little broken with everything that's gone on. You know, things have changed for them too. So, all right. Next we have Stronger. Stronger was created to be like the Kids On Guard, so it has the more gentle oils, but it's great for immune boosting. And we call this one our protective blend. But what I love about this one is emotionally, you think of it as the protective blend. It's protecting them from the negative energy that might be out there, from pessimism, from the news, from anything bad that might be entering their heart and their mind. It's going to help them just feel really secure in their beliefs, secure in their thoughts. It's going to help them feel really independent, protected, and just strength. I love thinking of this one of like strength and courage. If you want to help your kids have strength and courage, you're going to roll Stronger on the feet and on the heart to help them with this emotionally, okay? It's also going to be really helpful for soothing them in times of distress. It gives them that courage to face the distress that they're feeling. Did I tell you it was in that one? Cedarwood, Litsea, Frank, and Rose. Remember Rose, high vibration oil. So this would be beneficial just for the rose in it to help raise your kids' vibration, okay? Next, we have Rescuer. This one was really for aches and pains, for active kids playing in sports, growing pains, that sort of thing. But this one is going to be really good for helping them feel a sense of, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking at my notes to see if it's on there. just like that deep breath, like what's that sense of relief? That's the word I'm looking for. So if they felt like really tense, just like, I don't know what's going to happen, I'm really worried, and they're just like holding it together, barely holding it together, rolling some of this Soother Rescuer blend on their shoulders is going to just let your kids be able to release, feel comfortable, feel capable, and just really feel that soothingness that comes from when you aren't feeling stressed out anymore. Like you can finally take that deep breath. If everything's just really heavy, this is going to help make it a little bit lighter. Okay. So this has copaiba. Copaiba is an amazing oil for helping you get that calming, that zen. Lavender, spearmint, and I'm going to butcher this one, but it's xantholioxin. It's a fruit oil. So, this one is really good to put on the stomach because when we are holding tension and fear and anger and guilt, we hold it in our gut, and that causes some gut issues. Okay. So let's see. Next one is Steady. Where's my Steady? Right here. No, I forgot my Steady. Okay, I forgot Steady. But Steady is the oil. It's more of a grounding oil. It's kind of like our Balance, our adult version of Balance. And it has amyris, balsamic fir, coriander, and magnolia. So this is going to help our kiddos feel authentic, grounded, centered, and reassured that everything is going to be okay. It really just helps them feel stable and grounded, not so scattered, and the fear of what's going to happen next. It's really bringing in just that steady, grounded feeling that I am safe. Okay. And then last but not least, oh wait, I got two more. So actually this one is Brave, the Courage Blend. I actually use this one a lot. It's really just helpful for confidence, for feeling trustworthy, for courage of going out and stepping forward. If they're worried about the first day of school and what that's going to look like, being able to put some Brave on them to go out and face the world. If they haven't been out in a while, this is going to help boost that confidence, that self-esteem we talked about, and that reassurance. Okay. So it has wild orange, amyris, osmanthus, and cinnamon in it. And it just giving them that confident, courageous feeling. It's also really good with positive affirmations. So something that I don't know, we are really big in our home of believers of affirmations, of just repeating positivity, positive sayings to each other and our children to just keep that vibration high. If you use an oil like Brave, it's going to help instill an anchor, is what we call it. We anchor the thoughts and the affirmations into our body to help dispel that negativity and accept the positivity. Okay, so if you can think of an affirmation for your kiddo, it doesn't matter what age they are, they can be in your belly, they can be newborns, teenagers, just saying something like, I am safe, and have them smell and put on an essential oil. Or I am confident, I am brave, what's another one? I am protected. Okay. So just having them say something, I am, and then a positive word, and smelling an essential oil to help anchor that belief in them, to help dispel whatever they've been feeling the past 6 months. Okay. And then last but not least, we have Tamer. This is our digestive blend, and it was created for, obviously, digestive health, to help with tummy aches, etc. It has spearmint, Japanese peppermint, ginger, and parsley in it, and fractionated coconut oil. But I love this one for helping kids digest what's happening. One of the biggest issues with digestive health is we think we might have a stomach ache, we might have something going on from food we ate or inflammation in the body, when in reality it's because we're not properly digesting what is happening in the world or what has happened to us. And when you digest that emotion and you're able to fully process it and dispel it and get out of your body, your stomach will feel a lot better. Okay, so by putting Tamer over the stomach is going to help your kiddos be able to digest the process of what they're going through right now. And you can use all these essential oils and kind of create a routine in the morning. Like we're going to do let's see, we're going to do Thinker on our neck, and then we're going to do Calmer on our heart, and then we're going to do Stronger on our feet, Rescuer on our stomach, Steady on our feet, Brave and Tamer on our stomach, or something. Like, you can totally use all these oils on your kiddos every day. It's not going to hurt them, and it's not going to be too many oils. I use multiple oils a day on our whole family. So Create a little routine, make it fun for them. Like Laura said, she puts a bunch of oils out and lets her little girl just pick the favorite color. Include your kids in the process of picking the oils that they want to use on themselves, and make it fun. Teach them how to use these tools to take care of themselves. And if they're older, if they're teens, make it cool. Somehow just make it cool. We got fun roller balls with sparkles, and you can find fun sayings you can put on them and have them make them their own blends. It's really just this whole generation right now of our kiddos that are going through this with us are going to shape this future that we're walking into, right? They're going to shape the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So why don't we equip them with the best tools that we can to manage their emotions? So this is where we start, and we don't have this emotional stress that we're all feeling lead us into the future, right? Okay, so enough of that. Another drink, because I'm going to move on to gut health really quickly. Almost done. So emotional health, breathing in the oils, all of that is super important. If you can diffuse the oils at night for your kids, you can put them on the bottom of their feet, you can put them on their spine. Some of the oils you can take internally if you're open to that with your older kids. But what's super important, and I don't know, it's really becoming news right now, and I love it because I don't think a lot of people understand the connection between the gut and the brain. And we have a lot of kids that are dealing with depression and anxiety, and just thoughts of unworthiness. And a lot of that can really be helped and supported by if we were just teaching our children how to take care of their gut, how to take care of their body. And I know I have a 12 and 13-year-old. It's so much easier to just let them pig out on whatever they want, right? And they do. My kids are not perfect. We are not perfect. We don't eat clean all the time. My daughter's probably pigging out on popcorn and hot tamales right now as we speak. But just educating them that everything you put in your body and goes into your gut, and that is going to affect your brain and how you feel. When you eat like crap, you feel like crap, right? So teaching them to eat as well as they can. If they're going to pig out, at least have a salad for lunch, or teach them how to eat a lot of protein, drink a lot of water, eat if they can do dairy, have them eat good yogurts, drink good milk. Big fan of coconut milk in our house. But just really educating them how to take care of their gut, because that and key, yeah, exactly. It is key to our mental health. And sugar, processed foods, fast foods, all of that is it's detrimental to our gut health, which affects our mental health. And I encourage you, if you don't believe me, I challenge you to take out something for a week and see how you feel mentally, whether, it's sugar or it's just going out to fast food. I've been there, done that, lived through it. I've watched my own journey of eating healthy and eating not so healthy, and it affects my mindset so much. And I've watched my children go through it too. I know when my daughter eats well, she's in a good mood. When she eats like crap, she's in a crappy mood. So anyways, I'll get off that soapbox. It's just very passionate about it. But what we can do in the meantime is help our kiddos with like a probiotic. This is the PB Assist Junior. They taste like pixie sticks, very sweet, kind of like their treat. They're, after dinner, if they have a sweet tooth, you can give them one of these. This is going to help with that healthy gut flora. And that's really important to keep the healthy gut flora, to keep their immune system boosted and their mental health boosted. Okay, so giving your kiddos one of those a day. Doterra also has the A to Z chewable vitamins that you can do with your younger kiddos. And then we have a children's omega, which is a liquid form. Omegas are huge for brain health and mental health. Like, if that's all you give your kids is just a really high quality, good omega, that is going to help their brain health so much. I can't emphasize that enough. It also is going to have that vitamin D, the vitamin E, and the vitamin C, healthy fatty acids, everything that we need for good brain health to keep our kids in a positive mindset, okay? If you have older kiddos, teens, you can do a set of the Lifelong Vitality vitamins, just one instead of the regular dose. Cut the dose in half. You can also give them the adults probiotic, PB Assist, and I would encourage you to give them also 1 Terrazyme a day to help with the enzymes in their stomach. Okay, gut health is huge with mental health, you guys. It's Google it if you don't believe me. Google it. There's lots of good stuff out there. Okay. Also with teens, I didn't talk a whole lot about teens, but I feel like they are really getting hit the hardest with this right now because they are trying to become adults and find their own sense of control with their life. And as adults, right, as parents, when we don't like a situation, we can usually leave it or adjust it or figure out a new way. With teens, if they don't like a situation, they really don't have a choice, right? They don't have a choice on maybe how they're going back to school, or maybe their sports have been taken away from them. And so then they feel that sense of lack of control. And lack of control equals stress, and stress equals wanting to escape. And so then we see a rise in our teens doing drugs and drinking alcohol, trying to escape with sex, and all of these things that we do not want our children really doing right now. They're just trying to find a normal in their life and trying to be a part of something, even if it's bad. So we really need to focus on our teens right now. I know Kesha's really, really, really passionate about this. She's got a 16-year-old, right, Kesh? And then suicide, teen suicide is up right now. Suicide and drug addiction deaths are higher right now than COVID deaths. And so that is just telling us all that our mental health is super unstable, and we need to be as focused on this as we are of washing our hands, coughing in our elbows, and wearing our masks. We need to also add mental health to that list, 100%, okay? So there's things that you can look for with your teens and with your kiddos. If they're not talking to you, you can look for physical signs in them. Like I talked about with digesting life. If you're having stomach issues, it's because they're not digesting life. So if you have a kiddo that all of a sudden starts having stomach issues and you just can't figure out, you've tried different foods, you've tried different things, really look into if they're digesting life. Maybe they're feeling lost, they're feeling anxious, they're feeling fearful, they're holding that in their gut, okay? If you have a kiddo that's starting to grind their teeth, or a teenager, usually that is a sign of feeling unsure, unprotected, and constricted, like they are stuck. Lack of control is grinding of the teeth. If you have a lot of kids that are showing up with skin issues, I've seen a lot of kids having skin issues since this whole thing started in the past 3 months. It's because they're feeling hopeless, powerless, and stuck. So if you have a kiddo that has a physical ailment and you've done everything you can and nothing seems to be helping, go to the emotional side, okay? This book is phenomenal for that. It has a whole section in it on the physical aspects of the body if you start having issues like teeth grinding, and it'll tell you what oils to use, etc. Emotional signs that are emotional oils for our kids that I thought would be appropriate if they're feeling unsafe. You're going to want to use myrrh, On Guard, or Console. If they're feeling unsettled, try Roman chamomile and Console. I'm sorry, I said that before. Unsafe is myrrh, On Guard, and tea tree. Trust, if they're lacking trust right now in everything, you want to try marjoram, rosemary, cypress, or adaptive, okay? So every oil has an emotional tie with it. Don't feel like you don't have the right oil for the right situation. If you have an oil and your child is reaching for it, listen to them. Let them apply that oil. Let them diffuse that oil. Let them do, make a roller ball that they can take and carry with them if they need to. We really need to help this generation, right? Be able to manage their emotions. So a couple of rollerball blends that I wanted to share with you guys too that have been really popular one is called Cranky Bear, and it's 5 drops of wild orange and 5 drops of Balance in a 5 milliliter rollerball with fractionated coconut oil. So that's for anybody who's feeling a little cranky. You could also probably take that down to about 3 drops each and make it into a diffuser blend. So that was wild orange and Balance. And then the next one was called Monster Juice. So if you have somebody who's just on an emotional roller coaster, you're going to do Balance, 5 drops, and Citrus Bliss 5 drops. So balance is kind of like the go-to right now. And then if you have a kiddo that's having a hard time sleeping at night because of fear, night terrors, nightmares, worry, just restless, try 3 drops of On Guard and 3 drops of juniper berry in the diffuser. And then I learned this really cool trick tonight, actually, is if you want to take one of these oils to diffuse, say you want to diffuse the calmer instead of applying, or you think that it would be more beneficial diffused, you can either pop off the roller, or the roller that comes on the top, and then you can try to drop a couple drops in the diffuser. Or if you have all the oils that are already in this blend, you can just add them to the diffuser. So I was like, oh, that's super smart. Because I'm always like, how do I diffuse a roller ball? Just use the oils that are in the roller and the diffuser. Oh, genius. So yes. Let's see. Oh yeah. And then last but not least, oh, I didn't write it down. I have to share it with you guys. But we just found out that, well, not our children, but the school district that we're in, they're having kids 3 and up wear masks to school. So if you have the cloth masks, not the paper one, because the oils will break that down, but if you have like handmade cloth ones, I love taking any of these kids' oils and rolling that on the cloth mask before they put them on. I do it for myself. I put Serenity in my own mask, Breathe with all the smoke. I would put a few oils together, maybe in a small roller ball, or 5 ml if you have an empty 5 ml. This is a 10. If you have a small bottle, 5 ml, take an oil that is going to be good for calming. So like lavender, vetiver, cedarwood, Serenity, and then combine it with an oil for focus. So like rosemary is really good, peppermint, spearmint, or thinker. And then an immune booster like Stronger or On Guard, or Wild Orange. Okay, so pick 3 oils, one that does calming, one that does focus, and one that boosts the immune system. I would make your own blend in a 5 ml, add some fractionated coconut oil into it, and let your kiddo take that with them to put on their mask before they have to put it on at school. And they're getting calming, focus, and immune boost all in one, up their nose all day long. So one perk to the mask, right? one thing to make the masks bearable. So yeah. Oh, perfect, Janelle. On Guard and Adaptive on my mask. Boost your immunity and keep emotions in check. Yeah, see? There you go. I love it. Cool. I know. Sarah Stevens told me that idea. I was like, you're so genius. All right. I think I'm done. Does anybody have any questions? I know there's some comments. Let me just look back really quick. Yeah, you can put Terrazyme in smoothies. You can put it in yogurt, oatmeal. Just make sure you eat it fast, because you will notice that it will start to disintegrate the food really quickly, because that's what it does to your belly, or the food in your belly. Okay, it just like turns it to mush. It's really cool, actually. You can open a Terrazyme and put it in oatmeal and just watch it work its magic. It's really cool. IQ Mega in your morning shakes. Yeah, you can also put it in a pancake mix. I cut crap and started LLV. Amy, oh, changed my life. Yay, see, I'm not full of baloney, huh? Cooking food is hard, but totally worth it. Yes, it is, Matthew. I'm so glad you cook for me. I'm spoiled. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I will let you guys go. I know, please jump back on, because Kesha is going to end with next week's class. I think she has some announcements, and then she wants to do a prayer for our upcoming school year, our kids, our teachers, our parents, everybody who is affected, which is like the whole world, right? So thanks for joining me tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I love what I do, so I don't mind. All right. Have a good night.